Welcome back to another edition of First and 10 here of Hawk TV. I got the crew here, Billy, Jake, Werls hosting as always. So guys, let's talk about the big brawl that happened this past Thursday.
Of course
Myles, Garret, Mason Rudolph. I've never seen somebody whack somebody in the head upside the helmet with that, but let's give our reactions on that. So did the media overreact? Was Garret try to commit murder? Do you agree with the NFL suspending him for the rest of the season? And did you think Mason Rudolph kind of got away with not really getting any big suspension, but he did got a $35,000 fine? So I'm gonna start with you, Billy. What do you think?
Well, I'm a big Steelers fan, but I gotta say, what is Mason Rudolph doing right now? Mason Rudolph has really been getting bashed in the head left and right. At one point, they're taking off his face mask a few weeks ago, and then this week, he's getting clocked in the head with his own helmet, and I just, I think Mason Rudolph kind of deserves what he's getting, but
So you're in agree of Myles Garret?
Well, okay, what Myles Garret did was not just at all. There was no reason for him to do it. It was the end of the game. They were already destroying them. What was the point of him hitting him in the head? So I completely understand that he was directly going after Mason Rudolph, but I do not understand why Mason Rudolph is not getting something.
He only got a $35,000 fine.
He initiated, first of all, the helmets coming off, which was seen. Everybody saw that. It was obvious within the cameras. And just throughout the entire process, he is pushing Myles Garret to whack him in the head. So even though I'm a Steelers fan, I think Mason Rudolph should have gotten a heavier,
suspension,
consequence.
Fine, consequences.
I don't think the fine was worth the fine. He's already making enough. Yeah. Like, that fine really didn't affect him.
It's like taking a penny out of his pocket.
Seriously.
Honestly, I mean, Mason Rudolph, he started all the problems because Myles Garret sacked him, sacked him, whatever. Mason Rudolph then puts his hands in Myles Garrett's face, like, what are you doing? He's an entire foot taller than you. You don't want to start this fight. And then while they're taking him to the ground, Mason Rudolph goes for a low blow to Myles Garret. And obviously, if someone gives you a low blow, you're not just going to let it go by. So Myles Garret retaliates. He takes his helmet off, which after that point, it kind of got a little iffy. And then after he took his helmet off, they were still going at it. And then Myles Garret swings the helmet after him, which at that point, Myles Garret suspended indefinitely, in my opinion. I mean, you fight with someone, whatever. You whack someone with an aluminum helmet. I mean, he just came up with one of the worst concussions in NFL history, and you could have put him in a worse one that quickly. I mean, suspended indefinitely, I agree with, at least for the rest of the season. In my opinion, it should be a clean 16 games, and Mason Rudolph should at least.
Wait, you think Garret should be suspended 16 games?
Yes, the rest of the season, and then however long it takes for next season.
I think it's what.
It's a very
and
then Mason Rudolph, in my opinion,
I still think it's a little too much.
That's way too much.
And Mason Rudolph should get the
16-game
same suspension that Marquise Pouncey gets. What was it, 3 games?
Yeah.
3 or 4 games.
3 games for Marquise? Well, I just got to say this right now. Marquise Pouncey, right here, right now, is a savage.
This stood up for his quarterback.
He completely stood up for his quarterback. This guy was all up in Myles Garrett's face. He was throwing heavy punches. He was throwing haymakers out
on
there.
his helmet.
He was kicking.
Let me interrupt real quick, because as the media guys, we all want to be in the industry of media, right? We want to be in the communication field, whether we're broadcasting, doing behind the scenes. We have a tend to overreact to every situation. After the game happened on Thursday Night Football, you got guys like Booger McFarland and guys who used to play in the position, who used to play at NFL, talk about, well, he tried to commit murder. I've never seen someone take another helmet and bash somebody upside the head with that. Do you not remember the sport that you're playing is violent in itself?
It's a violent sport.
There's
no room for
you
stuff
can
like
dislocate dislocate your kneecap running a route.
No, yeah.
So it's like, hold up, we act like we never seen fight before in the NFL. Brandon Jacobs versus Muhammad Wilson. We never seen Brandon Jacobs versus Dante Hill. Andre Johnson versus Cortland Finnegan. So we act like we never seen fights before in the NFL. Granted, yes, I agree that that action was a little, it was a little out there. I believe he should have got suspended at least 6 games.
Over the
top. It was extremely over the top. But you got to remember this: Myles Garret is not the one that instigated a fight, because they're already up 21-7 with 8 seconds left to go in the game. So it's like, if you guys see the replay, you could clearly see Rudolph trying to take his helmet off. When you take a helmet off on the football field, you'd be like, yo, listen, you trying to start a fight.
like dropping the gloves.
You're trying to start a fight.
Dropping the gloves
Don't
in
think
hockey.
just when you see someone take the helmet off, don't think it's gonna be, oh, we're gonna have kumbaya, we're gonna sing, we're gonna have some tea and coffee together. Like, no, you initiate, you want smoke.
You don't want
this is
someone
what
to whack
you
at the
want.
helmet, though. I mean,
But it's like, I granted,
This
yes,
is just
what
been
he
fighting
did,
and then
what he did was over the top. But to act like people saying, well, he tried to commit murder, this and that. Now, granted, if he did connect with the crown of the helmet to his temple, could have been very bloody, very nasty scene. But granted, thank God he did it. But I'm saying is this too. Myles Garret did deserve the suspension, but let's not forget that like Mason Rudolph wasn't the one who instigated.
We also got to
deserves
remember it was
suspension.
completely blind. That shot that he put on Mason Rudolph was completely blind. So he was throwing the helmet no matter where it was going. He couldn't completely see. There was an offensive lineman already in his face.
Yeah, you got two
so
Steelers holding
no
you
idea.
back. So
But
it's like,
I gotta say, him attempting that action, and if he did connect to the temple, that could have caused something huge.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're looking at.
Yeah.
Yes, once Mason Rudolph got hit, he threw his hands up in the air, acting like, hey, why aren't you making this call? So it really didn't look as bad of a hit as it actually was. But in the end, it could
have been, yes. I feel like
had a
that he
really
got
bad effect,
suspended
especially
because
on
of
him.
what could have
That's
happened.
my opinion. Like, for
Like, what could
suspension,
have happened.
you have to set an example out of it.
But
you
the
can't,
thing
like,
is, it's like,
push
what
it
is the
aside.
amount of games he's going to miss? It's just indefinite. We know he's going to be out for the rest of the season. Does that include playoffs? Does that include next season?
Yes, it does include.
I think it does include playoffs, but you're going to say,
I don't
if you
know-
were the
I don't know
commissioner,
how
you
it
would
should
have
affect
suspended
for
him
next
16
season.
games?
I mean, Josh Gordon was suspended indefinitely.
I think it's
Well,
just
because Josh Gordon has had a history of
But
this
that's
stuff.
weed. That's not causing any
I
problems.
mean, like, we're
Myles
looking
Garrett's
at,
a known dirty player.
No, Myles Garrett's not a known dirty.
He injured
He's not a
Trevor
Vontez
Simeon.
Burfict.
He injured Trevor Simeon last
First of
year
all,
on a
anybody
bad-
could have
Nobody
got
is him,
nobody's
man.
Vontez, but
Nobody.
anyone
I'm
could
not
have got
comparing
injured on
with
that play. We've seen guys dislocate
We have
ankles
seen
every
in
time in
clean
the
hits.
NFL.
We've seen clean
So
hits,
that
not
wasn't a
dirty
clean
hits.
hit. He
No,
was
that was
outside
not.
the pocket. You as
Mason Rudolph
as
or
a
we're talking
defensive
Mason
lineman,
Rudolph or
you're
Trevor
allowed to hit
Simeon?
the quarterback outside
We're
the
talking about
pocket.
Mason Rudolph or Trevor Simeon?
Yes, he was outside the pocket. Was he not?
You're talking about Mason Rudolph or Trevor Simeon?
Trevor
You're saying,
Simeon.
Okay, there we
Yes.
go.
He was out. Was he not allowed to hit Simeon outside the
He
pocket?
was, but it
Yeah.
still wasn't the cleanest hit.
But at the end of the day, their job as a defensive lineman is to get to the
I get
quarterback.
that.
That's what Myles Garret did.
I'm not
what
comparing
was it?
Myles Garret to
Now,
Vontaze
granted, the
Burfict.
injury was terrible, but listen, injuries happen all the time
They
in
do
sports.
happen.
So it's like, what's the big deal? I think that the media, we just overreact to everything because we're always looking for a story. We're always nitpicking. Oh, well, he should be put in jail. He should be fired.
That's
he should
a
be
little
like,
bit
come on,
tough.
guys, just calm down. now.
Let's be
Come on,
realistic. Let's be
Yeah.
very realistic. That shot is not worth jail time.
It's
It's
not.
not
I've
worth.
seen worse.
Ruining a career.
It's not worth ruining a career.
I've seen
It's
worse, yeah.
it's worth just handling it how the NFL should handle it, which is suspend him for
Yeah.
a period of time and let him come back and let him learn from his lesson. Because when he's not playing, how's he making his money at that?
I think he will. I think he will. I haven't seen Myles Garret to be such a, dirty player, but I think he will. Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very special guest. Took his time out of his day to come here to his former alumni, Monmouth University 1996 class graduate. He's a 6-time Emmy Award winner for camera operations. He's done live production studio production. He's done a whole bunch of stuff for NBC, Olympics, HBO boxing. Man, I could sit here all day and talk about this man's resume. We got Todd Palladino in the studio coming up here next on First and 10. Don't miss it.